What's up, Doc?
Yes, as promised. What's up, Doc? The world-famous consultant from Looney Tunes would lean into people and simply ask them with their business, with their life, with the services they give to others, what's up, Doc? And now we would like a number of Christian entrepreneurs who are obviously deep in the spirit, deep in the business life, and obviously, like everybody else, deep in the mess, to kind of step forward and just visit with us about their life, their business, their challenges, and perhaps some things they're learning about life, business challenges, and life in the spirit that could be useful. How to be useful. That's something we all want to do. Tim Hoerr, introduce yourself, and we'll just listen to you. Tell the story.
All right, thanks. So, I've been privileged to be able to run a venture capital group, also a management consulting set of services that we run through our entity called Sarah Ventures, based here in Illinois, but also with offices on the West Coast in San Diego. And we've been doing this with our team. We have a team of about 10 individuals, some of us, most of us full-time, a couple of part-time. And we work with small to medium-sized businesses, largely technology-oriented companies. So a lot of software companies, some medical device companies, scientific instrument companies, agriculture tech companies. So sort of a wide swath of companies. I'd say we probably have had interaction with over 300 early-stage technology companies over the last 10 years or so. We've had the privilege to invest in about 80 of those companies, representing, multiple different industries, multiple different geographies, a lot of them based in the Midwest, but companies scattered throughout the balance of the United States. So, this is certainly an interesting time, an understatement of epic proportion to say that we're in completely uncharted territory at this point. And our job, as folks working with a lot of early stage technology companies, is to be checking in with each of the teams to talk about the crisis that's unfolding as we speak, and to help them wrap their heads around how their business is being impacted, how their people are being impacted, how they themselves are being impacted, and what is a recommended course of action in their particular case. And of course, every case is unique. Every case is different. So one of the key things we're trying to do at this point in time, be proactive and reach out, number one, and secondarily to listen to our CEOs and teams representing these 80 some odd companies, to hear what's going on in the world, hear their thoughts about moving forward over the next 3, 6, 12 months. Of course, nobody knows what the world's going to be like, right? These have been a set of events that are resetting the frame of business for many folks. So all of these early stage companies are getting impacted in one form or another, and so we're coming alongside of the leaders to help them at least, think in a quality fashion about what they might do in such a time as this. So that's the primary thing that we've got going on here.
What personally are you beginning to learn spiritually, emotionally, professionally, that is good or bad?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because I think a time like this is first and foremost, it's an opportunity to be reflective and to contemplate not only what's going on, but how am I responding to it? How prepared am I for a world that's very, very different? A lot of the assumptions, that we have built our lives and our businesses on are being completely turned upside down. And so it kind of takes you pretty much to the core of what is important in life and what is foundational in life. So that's one of the things I'm certainly seeing at this time, is that we're being forced to wrestle with the very essence of the questions that probe the very essence of life. And so that's one of the things I'm learning is I'm trying to be myself thoughtful, purposeful, reflective at this particular time, because before we can craft a set of actions as a leader for the people around us and a set of actions for our organizations, I think we've first got to take a look at our own lives. How well prepared are we mentally, spiritually, emotionally to handle such a time? And have we put the proper foundation in place to make decisions off of what hopefully is a foundation of strength and relationship with Christ? And it's a time for re-examining that to say, what is the health of my relationship with the Creator? Because that really is the most important element, I think, of getting grounded before assessing all of the other things that are kind of going on. So that's probably the most important thing that I'm learning and asking myself lots of questions in the process. And one of the things I'm finding is that a lot of my past failures, challenges, and difficulties really have prepared me for such a time as this. I'm not saying I'm doing it perfectly, but I don't think I've been caught off guard in the sense of I've had any number of challenging and bad things happen in my life and in the companies that I've helped, and I've had no choice, but everybody has a choice, but I have chosen to be resilient. I've chosen to lean into the problems, to lean into the failures, to diagnose why they may have happened, to learn the lessons from them. And that, I believe, has prepared me to operate in this particular time from a foundation that is solid and strong. And though we do not know what is on the other side of this, we don't know what tomorrow may bring, right? I mean, the news headlines are every day there's something new to grapple with, some new report that's bringing us mostly negative news. I guess there's a sprinkling of positive in there, but that is probably the core learning. And I'm also I'm as we are interacting now with a lot of folks, I'm impressed with the response that a lot of our CEOs and teams are putting in place. So I'm seeing thoughtful and purposeful responses to the crisis, and so that's actually been very, very encouraging. And I'm seeing some of the best of human behavior, quite frankly, the toilet paper thing notwithstanding. I'm seeing more humanity expressed, whether it's in the neighborhood or in the grocery store or of course at the office. Aren't many of us at the office these days, but and so that's been actually pretty encouraging to see that at the core of this we're all the playing field has truly been laid equal, so to speak, and so it's encouraging to see people respecting one another and loving one another and reaching out to one another to help in such a time as this.
I have something in my car now. Maybe you have it too. Literally, it can tell, and it tells my insurance company whether I make too many quick stops or quick starts or sharp turns.
Right.
And that got a metaphor for me. Are there any quick stops you have to make? Any fast starts you have to make? Any quick turns you have to make now?
Yeah, I think that's great. So I think, from this sort of initial place of us as leaders being reflective and contemplative and purposeful, I think from there we do need to move on to a certain set of actions, a certain set of behaviors to impact the people around us. And I guess, sort of the list I've seen is we need to become fairly decisive at a time like this. This is not a time to be waiting to act. We're going to have to make some tough calls. And, for example, we're going to have to revise our revenue forecast. We're going to have to implement some cost cutting measures. We're going to have to revisit again the assumptions that we've built our businesses on, right? We're going to have to probably pause hiring. So it's a time for being decisive. Number two, it's a time for tapping the wisdom of others. This is a time for reaching out to your team, to your stakeholders, to your customers, and hearing what they have to say. Yes, the world has changed, but we all continue to have needs. We all continue to have insights that we can share with one another. So it's a time to tap the wisdom of your team. It's also a time to think creatively, right? I mean, never before have we seen the likes of what we've seen, at least in my lifetime, right? So this is a time for creative and innovative solutions. So we need to be rethinking our approach to problem solving and implementing, out of necessity, actually, creative and innovative solutions. So, in terms of some of the hard turns, I guess is, to use the metaphor, these are kind of the things that we're thinking through. I think, it's not so much of a turn as it is just a reaffirmation of the truth that people are precious. People are important. People are worthy of your love, honor, and respect. And as a business person, this is a time like no other to be focused on others. So being people focused, being for them, being for the people in our circle of influence, honoring them, maintaining trust with them. And it's not to say that we aren't going to have to make some difficult decisions. There are probably going to have to be some layoffs or furloughs, right? So, for the sake of maintaining the life and the health of the company, you may have to go through some of that. But you can make some of those difficult decisions using biblical or spiritual principles of honoring people, of softening the blow, of doing for instance, one of my buddies in a Pinnacle Forum group is a dentist, and they've been mandated by the American Dental Association and the Illinois Dental Society to be closed for at least 3 weeks. He had no choice but to have his folks go on unemployment. But what he did is offer a zero interest loan from his own money to make up the difference between the unemployment dollars and their regular salary, with an indefinite term. So you can, and he's hoping that once things get back on track, that he'll be able to bonus each of them enough money to pay their loan off. All right. So there's creative thinking. There's a difficult decision that had to be made, but it was made in such a manner as to honor and bless the team. Still not a perfect solution, but a great example of being people-focused, of being kingdom-minded, and having to make a very difficult decision.
Tim, is there anything you're afraid of?
Not really. I mean, I'm a person that doesn't operate out of fear so much. We all have, things, I'm afraid of drowning, for instance, when swimming in the lake. But, from a 30,000 foot level, I truly am operating out of faith as opposed to fear. I guess if I had to be completely honest, what am I fearful about? That's a great question. Maybe I'm fearful ultimately that I won't act as honorably as I should be acting at a time like this, that I won't be as people-focused as I should be, that I'll be too focused on the wrong things at this time. Will I miss the opportunity that's being presented to me by the Creator right now to rethink how I'm interacting with folks. So that's a really good question. And again, if I'm really honest, maybe that's what I'm fearful about is, will I miss this reset opportunity that's happening right now? This is a reset for all of us. Are we going to pay attention to the opportunity to re-examine how we're doing life and work?
I had a daughter say, "Dad, what should I do?" You have a daughter.
Mm-hmm. 3 of them.
You sure do. What would you say to them right now?
Well, I'd say do not panic, remain calm, be reflective. We will get through it. Life will be different. On the other side of it, there will be things that will be reset, really on a permanent basis on the other side of this. I would also say don't stop loving and don't stop being generous. One of the things I keep getting from the Holy Spirit in my interaction this last couple of weeks is be generous. It's counterintuitive, because this might seem to be a time for pulling back, for holding on, for, gathering what eggs we have left from the stock market debacle. And it is not such a time, in my opinion, to be hoarding or to be holding on. And so I'd tell my kids, and I am telling my kids, by the way, it's a wonderful app, Marco Polo, that we've been using to do video chats with our family. It's a great little tool. I'd highly recommend it.
That again, please.
Called Marco Polo. It's a free app that you can download, and you can put people into a group, and then you each record videos separately, sort of on your own schedule, but you can message the folks in your group with kind of what's going on in your life. And we've been using that, just implemented it a couple weeks ago. And even me, a tech challenged person, has been able to, speak to the family and hopefully provide some encouragement to our kids are all adults, but to them and their spouses and significant others. So it's been a great little tool to, be able to stay in communication with one another. But I am actually, doing, as you said, I'm trying to send out a few words of hope and vision and encouragement that, out of this, there will be many, many changes in our lives, but we can maintain faith that we serve the Creator. He has not been caught off guard by this particular crisis, and hence we know that God being good, that we can get to the other side of this, and hopefully in the process we can be kind and thoughtful and generous to those around us. And so that's my message to them. And of course, I've got a couple daughters with 3 little ones at home that are out of school for the moment. And so there's a certain amount of chaos ensuing, that would not normally, be happening. So, we really are trying to pull together and help one another, through, the new normal.
Tim, a lot of people who will obviously hear this. You'll probably recommend that they do so. And hopefully this does go all over the world. I kind of boast and say, 5 billion people could hear this. It doesn't mean they all do, but they could.
Right.
That's the technology today. As I would oftentimes say on the radio, do you have a final word or a final story you can bring to us today?
Well, my final word to folks that are running organizations is, again, see this as an opportunity to reaffirm the mission, vision, and values of your organization. Those are the things that, even in a very, very tumultuous time, should not be changing. The mission that you have, you formed your organization for a particular purpose to meet a particular need. You have a vision of where the company can go, and you have a set of values, hopefully, by which you're operating the organization. And it is time to reaffirm that. Your strategy undoubtedly will have to change. The mode of executing to achieve the mission, vision, and the values will change. But now is a time to reaffirm the fundamental purpose for your organization and for your life, and to recommit to it, all the while understanding that your way of achieving the mission and the vision most certainly will have to change. So that would be my encouragement. And again, know that we will get to the other side. And as I said earlier, use this as an opportunity to grow, to maintain generosity, to be purposeful, and to reach out to others as we all collectively grow in this crisis.
Thank you. This is Tim Hoerr of, and it's Hoerr of Sarah Ventures. And you can look them up, and he might even be glad to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Tim Hoerr of Sarah Ventures, thank you for being a part of What's Up, Doc. And, of course, blessings on your family, blessings on your business, and may you find God's good purposes, even though there's rather, as Winston Churchill once said, the blessing is effectively disguised right now.
True.
But it's still there. So thank you so very much. And hopefully we'll have you back again on The Master Entrepreneur, and maybe What's Up, Doc, one more time. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah. All right.
And many thanks to Tim and his colleagues at Sarah Ventures. We appreciate, there you go, 20 minutes. You'll learn more here by accident than most places by design. We'd love to hear from you. Again, stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com, tcenglobal.org, tcenglobal.org. And if you'd like to add /contribute now to that, if you'd like to make a little tax-deductible tip, TDT, a tax-deductible tip, $2, $5, $10, maybe a quarter, we would be grateful. And that helps support the work and the mission of the Christian Entrepreneur Network. Well, raise your hand, stanhouston@gmail.com, and say, Stan, I'd like to be on your program. I'd like to perhaps share some of the things that I'm learning. Maybe I can join you in helping discover together. What's up, Doc? And it's not just Bugs Bunny. It is a scriptural Hebrew scripture wisdom. It was said of the men and women of Issachar in the days of King David, they understood the times and they knew what to do. And so, good Lord, give us many men and women of Issachar who truly understand the times and have God's creative power so they know what to do in these difficult times. Again, all the best and blessings to you. Press on. We'll be back. Bye for now.